Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. On News Hour tonight, gunmen invade Plateau community, kill 7 and injure several others. Katsina residents call for quick completion of interchange project that disrupt business activities in the ancient city. House of Representatives begin public hearing on Finance Bill 2021, mandatory tin excluded. And in sports, PSG battles Real Madrid in Champions League knockout stage. Now the news in detail. Gunmen have invaded Pinal Market in Pinal community of Wase local government area of Plateau State, killing 7 and injuring many villagers. Daily Trust reports that the armed men struck while the market was bubbling with activities on Sunday evening. Daily Trust had on December 8 reported how residents of some villages complained over the influx of bandits in some of the villages of Wase local government area. The residents also alleged that there were informants within communities working with the bandits. Spokesman of the State Police Command, ASP Uba Gabriel, did not respond to calls and texts when our correspondent tried to reach him over the development. Ado Abubakar gives an update.
On Sunday evening, government invaded Pinal Market, which is in a community under Wase local government area of Plateau State. From the information we have gathered, when the government invaded the market, they started shooting sporadically, where about 7 people were reportedly killed while many were injured. It will be recalled that on the 8th of this month, the youth leader of the area, Shafi Isobu, told Daily Trust that there were reports of influx of bandits into Bangalala and Safio area of Wase local government area of the state. But an hour later, the youth leader told TV Trust that security personnel, vigilantes and youth of the area have been mobilized to go into the bush and fight the bandits.
14 people have escaped after being kept for days in a camp by bandits affiliated to Kingpin Bello Turji in Sokoto State. Chairman of Isa local government area, Abubakar Yusuf, confirmed the incident. Report says the abductees escaped from the camp in Surubdubu on Saturday when their captors went out for other operations and have been taken to the General Hospital in Isa for medical checkup before being sent home. Yusuf said 8 of the escapees are from Sabon-Birni local government area, while 3 are from Isa local government area, both in Sokoto State, while the remaining 3 are from Kauranamoda local government area of Zamfara State. Bandits recently burned to death scores of passengers traveling to Kaduna from Sabon-Birni. Scores of others, including an imam, were abducted 5 days later. Wife of a borehole drilling operator, Kabir Babai, who was allegedly shot dead by a policeman in Oshogbo, Osun State, is delivered of a baby boy. Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, in his reaction through his Chief of Press Secretary, Alhaji Ismail Omipidong, directed the Commissioner of Police in the state, CP Wale Olokode, to ensure that the policeman that killed Babai faces the full wrath of the law. In a chat with Daily Trust, Olokode said the policeman is arrested and detained. The CP said the matter is investigated and that the policeman that killed Babai is found guilty, or if found guilty, would be prosecuted accordingly.
With regards to one of our officers that was involved in gruesome murder of a truck driver sometime last week, the officer concerned is right now in detention. He has been investigated by the state CID, just like the way we normally investigate anybody that has committed an offense. He has been investigated, and the outcome is that he is found guilty. It is then we will proceed to try him. So it is the trial that will determine whether it's to be dismissed, to be reduced, or any form of punishment. So after he's dismissed, then you can now charge him to court as a civilian, not as police any longer.
Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria in Kaduna State, Reverend Joseph Hayab, says rivalry among security agencies and non-involvement of traditional rulers are some factors militating against efforts towards ending insecurity in the north in particular and Nigeria in general. Reverend John Joseph Hayab speaks exclusively to Trust TV in Kaduna in ways of ending persistent insecurity in the country. The CAN chairman further called on Christians to intensify prayers, especially during Christmas, for peace to reign in Nigeria.
We feel that our government needs to sit up. We've had so much controversy about security in Nigeria. Can we, for once, sit up and do what is right? Enough of bitter competition among security agencies. Can they work as a team? Because if the intelligent guardians of our security is working with the enforcement team, the chances is that such evil will not happen. But you see, because there is no good synergy, people could plan evil, and the intelligent guardian part of our security may not pass the information to the police or pass it to the soldiers or pass it to any other agency that can intercept them. And that's why they can execute their program. So we want security agencies in Nigeria to work as a team. We have deliberately bastardized the traditional institution. We've made them weak. We've made them timid because they can't speak. They are afraid. Let them not say something that will offend governor, because governor will come after them harshly. See, if you want to get the best of people, relate with them, be friend with them, love them. When you love them, they will tell you the things ordinarily they're supposed not to say. But when they are afraid, they will speak to you nicely to please you and keep the truth to their chest. Today, what is happening in our environment is that people are keeping the truth to their chest and speaking nicely to please the power that be. And that's why we cannot really get to the root of the matter. When they were to announce the restore of network, instead of apologizing to citizens and say, sorry, we took a measure, but we realized we've checked it's not working, we have to do another thing, we are restoring. They said that the army said they've done what they're supposed to do. Even at that time, our people were still in bush. I can say to you that within that period, just before the shutdown, we had 11 members of the students of Bethel Baptist High School with the bandits. The bandits themselves told us that because there will be shut down of network, they will go somewhere with them. Once they'll be talking to us from that place. They eventually released 6, 1 escaped, and 4 were with them. It was just recent that they released 1, and 3 are still with them. So what measures have those things done? So it's just some primitive idea instead of using technology, because I know that the security agencies in Nigeria have equipment that they can sit down in their office and listen to every conversation that the bandits, as long as they have the number of the bandits programmed in that system, it will tell them the conversation and the area the bandit is talking. They never use this to track this bandit. So, and then shut down. So that means they won't even do another thing.
Property worth millions of naira has been destroyed in a fire incident at 18 Otigba Street, Computer Village, Ikeja, Lagos. The fire outbreak, which began in the early hours of Monday, engulfed a shopping complex, destroying goods and valuables. Confirming the incident, the spokesperson, Lagos State Police Command, CSP Adekunle Ajishebutu, said policemen were drafted to the scene to protect the firefighters and others. Reports say the prompt arrival of operatives of the fire service prevented the inferno from consuming other buildings. Meanwhile, no life lost in the incident. However, valuable property, which estimates are not yet known, were destroyed. A liquefied petroleum gas tanker exploded at a filling station on Onitsha-Enugu Expressway, Anambra State on Sunday night, setting vehicles and buildings on fire. Director, Anambra State Fire Service, Martin Agbili, who confirmed the incident, said the fire spread to 2 other filling stations and a mechanic workshop with vehicles in the area. The state sector commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Adeoye Irelewi, also confirmed the incident, imploring the public to be calm and patient. Meanwhile, no casualties were recorded and the total damages are yet to be ascertained. Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps in Bauchi State, Yusuf Abdullahi, says at least 16 people died in a road crash that occurred in the state on Sunday. Abdullahi confirmed the incident in an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria on Monday in Bauchi. According to him, the accident, which involved an articulated truck and one other commercial Toyota Hummer bus, happened in Bumbal village on Kano Jama'are Road. The sector commander, who attributed the accident to speed violation, said the 16 people involved in the crash comprised of 10 males and 6 females, and all the people on board lost their lives to the crash, while their corpses were deposited in the morgue of Kiawa General Hospital on Kano Jama'are Road for identification. The Katsina City Interchange project is progressing steadily. Though the project has halted business activities around the project site, the affected shop owners are hopeful that the project will be completed within the stipulated period. Abdullahi Yamadi has details.
This is Katsina City Interchange Road Project, which links Kofar Kaura with Kofar Kwaya, all in Katsina Metropolis. Over 5 billion naira was earmarked for this interchange road project. And already, according to Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State, over 70% have been paid to the contracting firm for the construction of this road. And the duration for the project is 12 months. Of course, this road is going to ease transportation difficulties to commuters here in Katsina Metropolis. And I spoke with some of the shop owners around, because this place was a beehive of activities before the commencement of the road project. And they expressed some of the difficulties they're experiencing as a result of this construction work.
The customers are not coming, so the road affected our business, but we know that when they finish the road, our business will continue again.
Even if they must construct these roads, at least like those of us who have shops and business around this area, they need to have considered us too. Because just came and just blocked all the roads all at the same time. Block the market for us. We don't have this. We don't have any form of business now.
This work, Gaskia, we are suffering from it because a lot of customers cannot come to this area. You can open your shop since in the morning up to the night. You have no any customer that come because of there is no road.
According to the shop owners, they're experiencing some little difficulties here and there because the road project has affected some of their businesses. But they believe it is going to be something that is temporary, and of course, in the next couple of months, they are going to continue with their normal businesses. From Katsina, Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi reporting for Trust Television News.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, full disclosure on National Assembly spendings. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. You heard that gunmen have invaded Pinel Market in Pinel community of Wase local government area of Plateau State, killing 7 and injuring many villagers. Plus, the Katsina State City Interchange Road project is progressing steadily through the project, though the project has halted business activities around the project site. Some more news. Chairman, Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 and Secretary to the Federal Government, Boss Mustapha, has cautioned Nigerians against letting down their guards as Omicron variant of COVID-19 is even deadlier. He warned that Nigerians should not drop their guards as the COVID-19 pandemic is not yet over, with the discovery of more deadly Omicron variants. Boss Mustapha made the call in Yola at the Christmas Carol service of songs organized by Adamawa State Chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, which held at the Ribadu Square, Yola. The report.
Christians in Adamawa gathered again to celebrate this year's Christmas Carol. Last year, similar exercise was put on hold because of the novel coronavirus pandemic. This year's Carol for year 2021 is put together by the Christian Association of Nigeria, Adamawa State Chapter, under the leadership of Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Dami Mamza. It is taking place at the Mahmoud Ribadu Square, Yola, but the event is holding under an atmosphere already enveloped by fear over the discovery of the deadly Omicron variant. The SGF boss Mustapha is using this year's event to caution Nigerians against letting down their guards. He warned the world is in the midst of a variant of concern which spreads and transmits very quickly.
Let me remind us that the COVID-19 pandemic is not over. As of today, 262 million people across the globe have been infected. Almost 6 million have lost their lives. On the continent of Africa, about 8 million and over 200,000-300,000 have lost their life. In the country of South Africa alone, over 90,000 people have died. In Nigeria, thank God, it's not because of our knowledge of medical sciences, but I attribute it to the benevolence of God, to the mercies of God, that He is being able to sustain us. We have just about 215,000 infections, with less than 3,000 deaths in a population of over 200 million persons. But we should not take that for granted. We are in the midst of a variant of concern now, the Omicron variant. It spreads and transmits very quickly. If you look at the figures that are coming out of Lagos and Abuja in the last couple of days, Lagos recorded over 500 in one day, and it's graduating, it's spreading. So I want to implore us not to downgrade the use of the face mask, not to downgrade keeping social distancing, and sanitizing our hands or washing of hands.
Yeah, by this time we couldn't have had the Christmas Carol because of the COVID and also the fear that was actually instilled into us because we didn't understand fully the kind of COVID that we were going to pass through. Again, even this year, the new variant, the Omicron variant, we are still here to understand what it is like. And again, but that does not mean that we should not be cautious. We still want to remind our people that COVID is real and the new variant is with us. And so all the necessary precautionary measures that need to be taken should be taken.
Is experiencing it at a higher rate, but ours has been minimal because of the mercies of God. So we thank God for the opportunity to meet together and to fellowship.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja on Monday has refused to grant an injunctive order against the federal government over the bid to deduct $418 million from the allocations of the 36 states government to fund their contractual obligations in the Paris Club refund. The trial judge, Justice Inyang Ekwo, declined to grant the application for injunctive order made by the 36 state governors to stop the federal government from proceeding with further deductions of their money from the federation accounts. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu reports.
Hearing of the Pari Club refund case between the federal government and state governors over the controversial payment of $418 million to consultants on December 13. The trial judge, Iang Ekwo, was presented with all interlocutory applications which invalidated the preceding interim order. The counsels for the defendants and the plaintiffs, however, shared their opinions.
Well, what happened in court is that we moved, the plaintiff moved an application seeking injunction to restrain federal government and other defendants from deducting from federation fact allocation of the states to fund the promissory note issued by the federal government to judgment creditors. And the court said, well, that the jurisdiction of the court is challenged. And where a jurisdiction of court is challenged, that is a threshold issue that must be considered first before any other issue is taken. Upon that basis, the court refused the application for injunction and granted accelerated hearing of the preliminary objection and the substantive matter, which has been fixed for 21st of this month for argument.
The real issue in this matter is not about deduction. It's about court giving judgment some 3-4 years ago to the knowledge of the state governors. It's about the state governors endorsing those judgments and agree on terms of execution. It's about the federal government on the basis of the judgment, including orders of mandamus, directing or issuing promissory note, which is money in all instances, to the judgment creditors. So whether there is deduction or not, it has nothing to do with the promissory note. The plaintiffs in this case made it categorically clear to the court that they are not opposed to the issuance of the promissory note. And so the process of deducting, claiming and counterclaiming between federal government and the state government is no business of the judgment creditors. That's the position.
The court, in its wisdom, had consolidated the challenge to jurisdiction and the substantive originating summons to be heard together. And by that, the rest in this matter is still pending before the court. And every party, every Nigerian, every citizen of this country must defer to the jurisdiction of the court once a matter is pending before them. It is only for the avoidance of parties who could be lawless, who will want to take things, arrogate things by their own power, that you will even find party court making injunctive orders. Once the matter is before the court is seized of all the matter and every issue pending in that suit.
After March deliberations by representatives of all parties involved, Justice Iang Ekwo of the Federal High Court adjourned the case for further hearing, slated for December 21, 2021. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami SAN, says Nigeria is collaborating with various jurisdictions in its effort to recover stolen assets stashed abroad. Malami stated this at the 9th session of the Conference of States Parties to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption holding in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. In a statement issued by the Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Umar Gwandu, Malami said significant progress has been recorded in the efforts to combat corruption in Nigeria.
Places, including multinational companies. This diversion of strategic resources continues to challenge Nigeria's growth and development, which has been aggravated by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. As a country, we have continued to make significant progress in our efforts to prevent and combat corruption, block leakages, and recover our stolen assets. We have enacted legislations and established structures to implement the diverse issues covered by the Convention. We have continued to strengthen.
Nigeria's Senate President Ahmed Lawan says accountability is the hallmark of effective democratic governance, underscoring the imperative of executive-legislature collaboration. Lawal made the observation while presenting a maiden lecture at the Distinguished Parliamentarians Lecture Series organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja. Trust TV's Shafi'u Suleiman reports.
The forum presented an opportunity for the Senate President and Chairman of the National Assembly, Ahmed Lawan, as a guest lecturer to project the mandate, clears misconceptions, and presents a scorecard of the 9th legislature widely regarded as rubber stamp, parasitic, corrupt, and unproductive.
The total salary of a member of the Senate is about 1.5 million naira, and that of House of Representatives is about 1.3 million naira. The quarterly office running cost for legislators is what is erroneously conflated with a monthly income to create confusion and mislead the Nigerian public.
As he compares notes with contemporary and developed legislative branches globally, the Senate President identifies the fault lines and provides solutions for a collaborative governance that will deliver the goods to the people.
Corruption in any arm of government is not acceptable and must be condemned. However, to single out one arm of government without any hard evidence is to undermine the authority of that institution. As we are all aware, corruption in Nigeria is a very complex issue and is enabled by actors both in government and the private sectors.
The presentation generated reactions from other critical stakeholders in the Nigerian project.
Today's quite elucidating presentation by the Senate President has brought these things to the fore.
What I aim as a legislator, what I spend, what I'm expected to do. And for me, the issue of, declare your salary, declare what you have, declare what you earn, I think is being put to rest.
This is the first time we hear officially how much National Assembly members earn. And when they explain what this represents, nobody is good conscience today can come out and say the National Assembly member is overpaid.
Nigeria is currently grappling with the challenge of maintaining a bicameral legislature with a budget hovering around 150 billion naira annually in a representative democracy struggling to meet huge cost of governance in the face of declining revenue generation. Shafi'u Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
House of Representatives Committee on Finance has on Monday commenced public hearing on the 2021 Finance Bill following its transmission to the House by the President Muhammadu Buhari last week. The bill, according to the House, is geared towards assisting the economy to find its feet, which is why the President transmits it to both chambers along with the yearly budget. The report.
Chairman of the committee, James Falike, while welcoming stakeholders, assured that their contributions to the finance bill is important for the success of the 2022 budget implementation. He said the finance bill comes with the yearly budget to enable a full and comprehensive execution to meet the aspirations of both government, the citizens, and the economy in general.
We are here once again to deliberate on the new finance bill that will assist the 2022 budget, and hopefully that as stakeholders who are all gathered, you all have privilege of this bill, which has been made public for our inputs. Today is a day that we expect that you submit all those details to us, defend it, areas where you think that the legislature should look into. We'll be privileged to hear from you before making the law, before presenting this bill on the floor and passing it as a law.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, who was represented by the Minority Leader Ndudu Elumelu, commended the painstakingly input by the Ministry of Finance in putting together a broad-minded reforms that will enhance transparency and accountability. He said this will further block wastages in the system, create employment, and reduce borrowing by government in executing further budgets, amongst others.
Essentially,
The 2021 Finance Bill seeks to introduce strategic and broad-minded positive reforms that will engender best practice, statutorily check borrowing by local, state, and federal government, enhance transparency and accountability in the administration in various strata of tax and public revenue generation, while at the same time guaranteeing the interests of the investing public and businesses.
The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, in a submission says the bill was drafted with inputs from relevant government agencies, including the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the Debt Management Office. She said it was done in line with global best practice with intention to increase revenue and reposition SMEs with several reforms to boost the economy.
Streamlining some provisions relating to agricultural equipment and also providing additional relief, exempting minimum wage earners from paying personal income tax. And the third broad area is tax fiscal responsibility and public procurement. So the Finance Act 2020 amended key tax legislations to enhance implementation of tax reforms and also amended some provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act. That was where you made the provision that pegged revenue to expenditure ratio of government-owned enterprises to 50-50, and we've seen significant increase in revenue, non-oil revenue, because of that provision.
The finance bill is expected to guide the implementation and execution of the 2022 budget.
Price of cement is increasing across Nigerian markets. In Gombe State, a bag of cement weighing 50 kilograms, which was previously sold at 3,500 naira, now sells between 4,500 and 5,000 naira. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail speaks to some Nigerians whose businesses were affected due to the hike in cement price. The report.
This industry is producing thousands of cement blocks to satisfy the needs of its customers in Gombe metropolis and beyond. But the recent increase in the price of the commodity has posed a great challenge to its operations.
So it has affected my business because of when the price is high, so the demand sometimes will become low because of the highs of the commodity, the highs of the price. So it has affected my business. So before we have a market, but now when the cement price have been increased, affect our production, affect our blocks market.
The construction industry offers a lot of opportunities for people such as artisans, carpenters, among others. A cross-section of those working in the building industry share experience of how the latest hike in price of cement affect their work.
Yanzu haka siminti ana sai da shi naira 5,000, kwano ɗaya naira 300. Hakan ma yana mana tsada. Yanzu haka mu ma'aikata babu aiki, magina ba sa iya sayan siminti da za mu yi aiki da shi yanzu haka. Mu yanzu muna nan cikin wani hali, har ga Allah siminti ya yi tsada, ba a iya ba mu aikin ma saboda siminti.
Sana'a na dai kafinta ne. To mu a harkan kafinta dama sai an yi ginin ake biyar da aikin kafinta. To maginin tun a harkan ginin ya cinye kudin kayan aikin. Kafin a zo inda za a yi harkan aikin mu kusan maleji ne kawai. Da kudin kayan aikin namu da dan abun goron da za a bamu duk ya shiga cikin kayan aiki, sai dai kai kawai ka tashi gashi yadda abubuwa suka ƙara tsada yanzu. Duk wani abun da aka baka sai dai ka lallaba dai ka dan tafi saboda yanayin da ake ciki.
A stakeholder in cement market in Gombe said some major producers of the commodity have announced a break.
So the reason why our neighbors Ashaka Cement last 1 month have told us they should go to maintenance for at least 2 months. So the reason why they don't have full capacity for production.
Nigerians are now expressing displeasure because of the increase in price of cement.
da kuɗinka, amma yanzu dole da sai dai ka ɗan yi maleji ka tsuke aikin ka ɗan yi aiki kaɗan ka sake hutawa ka nemi wasu kuɗaɗe kuma ka yi again. Amma da kaga ai in ka nemi siminti za ka yi aiki da yawa kuma kuɗaɗen da za su samu za ka yi wasu budget ɗinka da su, amma yanzu dole dai ka ɗan taɓa kaɗan ka ajiye in ka sake samun kuɗi kuma ka sake ɗora.
From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail for Trust TV.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. We'll be back right after this break. Welcome back to News Hour. Still in the news, National Bureau of Statistics says 80 weeks after the global COVID-19 pandemic took a drastic toll on the Nigerian economy. Let's join Chamung Dabeng for more on business news.
National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) says 80 weeks after the global COVID-19 pandemic took a drastic toll on the Nigerian economy, third quarter 2021 gross domestic product (GDP) data shows an impressive recovery trend. The NBS data, real GDP grew by 4% year-on-year compared to -3.6% in third quarter of 2020. The data added that the nominal GDP for quarter 3 2021 is also up by 15.4% compared to 3.9% in quarter 3 2020, while on a quarter-on-quarter basis, the real GDP grew by 11.1% compared to -0.3% in quarter 2 2021, while nominal GDP also grew by 15.7% quarter-on-quarter, better than the -2.2% recorded in quarter 2 2021. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC says Nigeria's oil output dropped year-on-year by 13% to 1.346 million barrels per day in October 2021 from 1.540 million barrels per day in 2017. The data obtained from monthly oil markets did not include condensate, which Nigeria's daily output stands between 300,000 and 400,000 billion barrels per day. They also indicated that the 1.228 million barrels per day lowest output is produced in October 2021 compared to 1.663 million barrels per day produced in the corresponding period of 2017. However, the reports attributed the general lull in the global oil and gas industry to the prolonged coronavirus pandemic. Telecommunications firms in Nigeria are set to compete in Abuja for spectrum in the 3.5 gigahertz band, which will be used for the deployment of the fifth generation technology known as 5G. The Director of Spectrum Administration at NCC, Oluwatoyin Asajo, announced the reserve price for the 3.5 gigahertz spectrum auction at $197.4 million. According to Asajo, an initial bid deposit IBD equal to 10% of the reserve is adopted in line with the previous auction, explaining that the ascending clock auction process will be used. The Commission is expected to license 2 slots in the 3.5 gigahertz spectrum band, expected to be picked by successful bidders at the end of the main auction. That's all for business news on Trust TV. I am Chamun Dabeng.
On the foreign scene, Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan hosted Israel's Prime Minister Naftali Bennett in the first ever public meeting between the United Arab Emirates de facto ruler and an Israeli leader. Let's join Aisha Haruna for more news from the foreign scene.
Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Al Zayed hosted Israel's Prime Minister Naftali Bennett in the first ever public meeting between the United Arab Emirates and an Israeli leader. Bennett met Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed on Monday at his private palace. According to Bennett's spokesman, his visit reflects a new reality for the region. Bennett's visit comes just over a year after the wealthy Gulf states forged diplomatic ties with Israel under a series of U.S. brokered deals known as the Abraham Accords. Israeli Prime Minister praised the peace agreement for establishing a new, deep and solid structure for diplomatic, economic and cultural relations in the region. Palestinian political leader Sheikh Raed Salah has been released from a prison in Israel after serving 17 months on charges of incitement. Salah, a Palestinian citizen of Israel and former head of Northern Islamic Movement, was released from prison on Monday morning, just north of his hometown in the southwest of Nazareth City. Dozens of people, including family, friends and followers, gathered at the main entrance of the city with celebratory music, banners and boxes of sweets to greet Salah upon his return home. Israeli police arrested Salah in August 2017. He spent 11 months behind bars without charge before he was released and placed under restrictive house arrest, including wearing an ankle monitor for a period of 2 years while his trial proceeded. Tigray rebels have recaptured the northern Ethiopian town of Lalibela, home to a UNESCO World Heritage Site, 11 days after Ethiopian forces said they had retaken control. The announcement marks another dramatic twist in the 13-month-old conflict that has killed thousands of people and triggered a deep humanitarian crisis in the north of Africa's second most populous nation. The Tigray People's Liberation Front rebel group military leadership, in a statement shared with the media, said they had launched comprehensive counter-offensives in numerous locations, including along the road linking Gashina and Lalibela. Lalibela, 645 kilometers north of Addis Ababa, is home to 11 medieval monolithic cave churches and is a key pilgrimage site for Ethiopian Christians. United Kingdom has recorded its first death related to Omicron variant of the COVID-19 virus. Prime Minister Boris Johnson disclosed this on Monday while on a visit to a vaccination clinic in West London. Johnson has advised British residents to put aside the idea that Omicron is a milder variant. While the government's booster rollout has commenced earlier than proposed, the UK's Health Secretary Sajid Javid has revealed that 10 people have been hospitalized in England with the Omicron variant. And finally, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has tested positive for COVID-19 and is receiving treatment for mild symptoms. The presidency, in a statement, said Ramaphosa, who is fully vaccinated, began feeling unwell after leaving a state memorial service for former President de Klerk in Cape Town on Sunday. The 69-year-old leader is now self-isolating in Cape Town and is being monitored by the South African Military Health Service. He has delegated all responsibilities to the Deputy President, David Mabuza, for the next week. According to the statement, Ramaphosa and his team had been tested for COVID multiple times last week during visits to 4 West African countries, while some in the president's delegation tested positive in Nigeria and returned directly to South Africa. Throughout the rest of the trip, Ramaphosa and his delegation tested negative.
In sports, former Super Eagles coach Gena Ora is relieved of his position by the Nigerian Football Federation. However, Nigerians have reacted to the development and the appointment of new technical crew led by Augustine Eguavon. Trust TV's reporter Nafisa Abdul Al seeks the opinion of Nigerians on the matter.
He does not have a very good history with managing the Super Eagles. The likes of Emmanuel Amunike would have been much better, probably assisted by Finidi George. These are former players that have the pedigree and the caliber to stand in place of a technical advisor. So, not a good idea, but we hope for the best anyway. It's our Super Eagles.
Nigeria and the sport ministry, I think they are right. Especially Nigeria as a team that we know. Any team in Africa that they're going to beat Nigeria, they only have a rethink. They always have a fear. Because for now, when Donald Trump took over, he tried, but later on, I think politics enter, the people that sign him in, the people that normally get their own interests, they are there. So the man was not doing whatever the needful that we need.
The question is, Genatro, since he came in, what results have we gotten? It's been here for almost 3.5 years, if I'm not, since 2016. We've not gotten anything. There's nothing. We have not won any trophy. So the truth is that Eguavon, to me, is a better choice. We have boys that are qualified to do this job within. Why go and bring some people that they don't even know in Europe to come and handle a national side?
For Nigeria to sack the Super Eagles coach, well, that's a support of sacking. The reason behind is this: we have so many experienced players who have undergone the training of coach. So what are they doing? It's one of those things. Government is once for a captain of a Super Eagle, he's equal to the tax. He can govern the Nigeria Super Eagle if there's justice and equity. Because the problem there is this: is agree and disagree. Everybody's interest is paramount. So a country where there's no justice and peace cannot prevail, it's what we're facing right now.
And finally, PSG will face Real Madrid. For this and more, let's join Adeni Ajishafe on latest sports news.
Hello and welcome to Sport News. Lawal Folashade has won another gold medal for Nigeria at the International Weightlifting Federation IWF World Championship in Uzbekistan. Lawal, competing in the 59 kg category, claims the medal in the Commonwealth Championship, a lift of 207 kg to emerge the best in the Commonwealth Championship, which also qualifies her automatically for the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England next year. As she joins Stella Kingsley and Olarinoye Adenike Adijat on the gold medal list, while Edidian Umofia won silver. Nigeria contingent currently has 7 medals in the competition: 3 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze. Nigeria will continue her medal winning push on Monday when Joy Ogbone Ese competes in 71 kg women category. In football, former Nigerian Professional Football League champions Kano Pillars were crowned champions of the 2021 Presidential Cup after a 1-1 draw with Akwa United. Kano Pillars finished the invitational tournament with 7 points in 3 matches. 2018 Aitio Cup winners defeated Lobby and Sunshine Stars before a 1-1 draw at the newly refurbished football pitch of Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja. Ezekiel Bassi had restored Akwa United fans' hope when he scored in the 22nd minute to put his team ahead before Mustafa Jibrin restored parity in the 82nd minute. 2021 Presidential Cup involved Sunshine Stars, Lobby Stars, Akwa United and Kano Pillars. Meanwhile, former Arsenal and PSG player Kaba Diawara has been appointed Guinea national team coach ahead of the 2021 African Cup of Nations. Diawara replaces Frenchman Didier Six, who was sacked a few months ago. In the UEFA Champions League, Super Eagles winger Samuel Chukweze's club Villarreal has been drawn against 2017 finalist Juventus in the round of 16. In a draw made on Monday, defending champion Chelsea will face Ligue 1 giant Lille of France. Chelsea are the only English side to play their first leg at home, with the other three all away after winning their groups. Premier League champions Manchester City face Portugal Sporting Lisbon, while six-time winners Liverpool play three-time winners Inter Milan. Manchester United face Spanish champions Atletico Madrid. Standout tie of the round of 16 includes 13-time champions Real Madrid come up against French powerhouse Paris Saint-Germain. 2022 UEFA Champions League final will take place in St. Petersburg, Russia on 28 May 2022. In the Europa League knockout round playoff, perennial winner Sevilla will host Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia. Borussia Dortmund against Rangers, while FC Porto hosts Lazio as Sheriff Tiraspol face Braga of Portugal. In Formula 1, Red Bull's Max Verstappen won his first Formula 1 world title by beating Lewis Hamilton on the last lap of a thrilling season finale in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, but had to wait while Mercedes team had to protest against the result rejected by stewards. Hamilton had appeared in control of the race and on course for the title himself despite controversy on the first lap, until a late safety car race was restarted with a lap to go, with Verstappen on fresh tires and Hamilton on old ones. Verstappen passed Hamilton into turn 5 and head off his attempts to repass down the two straight that followed and completed the lap before erupting with joy. Lewis Hamilton will have to console himself with Mercedes' victory in the Constructors' Championship for an unprecedented 8th consecutive year. Lewis Hamilton is a joint world record holder with Michael Schumacher 7 times. That's sport news. I am Adeniyi Ajishafe.
That ends News Hour on Trust TV. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Dashan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.